thing that won me over is when he looked at me and he said, deeply into my eyes with his big brown, beautiful eyes, he said, I am so enamored with your fair skin and red hair. And I just knew at that moment, and I just said, dear God, let me marry this man in my heart. And now it's 12 years later, I get to. So it's so awesome.
I can't stop thinking about how I'm feeling this way. She moves like sea breeze, swirling around me. The fragrance that she leaves hangs in the air.
She has a heart that's just amazing. Just a love of life and people just around her. The things that she does just to stand back and watch her is amazing, how much she cares about people. And unless you experience it, it's almost impossible to describe that, just the stuff that she goes out of her way to do.
He equally has an incredible heart for people. If somebody needed help, he would be the first one to jump in. And he loves to talk, which I love that about him. He can have these intellectual conversations about all kinds of things, and it's like I keep getting to know him again every day a little bit more. So it's kind of crazy. I think I can't love him anymore, and then the next day I'll love him a little bit more and a little bit more, and I'm like, wow, I don't know when that's gonna peak, but it's awesome.
Your Sylvia Plath, as you drift from the back.
When we first met, I was shooting at the racetrack at Portland International Raceway, and this good-looking guy, who happens to be sitting next to me, came up to me and said, like a gentleman, hi, my name is Phil, and I was wondering, would it be okay if I shot with you here? And I'm like, yeah. So he came and shot with me, and then he asked if he could just shoot with me for the weekend. So we really hung out all weekend at the track.
And we ended up hiking through blackberry bushes and basically needing a machete to find this one place in the backstretch where the cars were literally just the other side of the K-rail from us at 160 miles an hour or so, just flying by, and it was just awesome. And she was just so giddy to be back there. And
I remember apologizing because I was like so thrilled, woo, that these cars went by and your hair got brushed in the wind, and here's this good-looking photographer with me, and I said, gosh, I'm so sorry. I guess I got a little spaz. And he said, no, it's awesome. And I'm like, yeah, finally, some guy that loves my passion.
Yeah, she was just bubbling. It was great.
And I'm truly no longer alone. You marry Cassandra.
Dinner and then looking at pictures.
He said, I got my slides back. You want to see my slides? And I said, yeah. So we spent all this time looking at slides after dinner, and it was just a real sharing time. And then our first kiss, which I remember, was I was getting nervous because I hadn't dated anyone for a while. And he says, well, look at this slide. And I said, well, I'm going to chicken out. Could you just come over and kiss me? And he said, yes, I can. And then he came over and kissed me, and he put his arm around my waist and pulled me close, and then I just melted. I just knew instantly that I really was in love with this guy.
That part I remember.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know what you know, and I want to go where you go.
When we dated before, we dated for that long distance for 2 years, but we weren't ready to have that commitment to each other. I didn't want to move to San Diego. He didn't want to move here. And so we just parted as friends. And then when he came back into my life, he said, I really made a mistake. I think I should have done it different. And here you've loved me all this time. And then he said, well, I think we should date again. And I said, well, we already tried that. So if you're going to date, it's actually going to be courting, and we're going to figure out a plan, and we'll have like a bigger goal in mind, because now I have a little girl and she's very important to me. And if you're going to be in our lives, you need to be all the way in our lives. So we agreed to 6 months, every month him flying up for a couple days or a week. By month 4, we were pretty much sure that that was going to happen. One day we were just laying on the couch and he had his arms around me. We were just kind of dreaming about life. And he just said, yeah, I think this is totally what I want, and I want you to marry me. And so he proposed then. He gave me a ring the next day. And then a week later, we found out I had cancer. So it's been kind of a whirlwind, positive and challenging at the same time ever since. But you really have to end up just setting it aside and living life to the fullest, because that's all any of us can do. And Wish Upon a Wedding has been great about that, because they're doing things. I'm pretty imaginative, and they're doing amazing things way beyond anything I could imagine. So it really is an incredible fairy tale in the midst of some really traumatic challenges with the cancer. I'm really looking forward to take our vows as a family. That's really important, and the fact that Grace is so excited to be a part of that. He's such a good dad. He's like a natural at it. They read stories together, and the way that he takes the time to explain the things that she asks, I don't know, she's just really thrilled about it. Thrilled to have him as her new dad, and it's exciting as a mom to watch their relationship blossom.
I'm really looking forward to when I get to dance with her as my wife. It's kind of what started this whole mess. We were going to get married at Pioneer Oaks Church and have a little ceremony and go and not even really have a reception. And then she kept saying, well, what do you want on your wedding day? And I said, I want to dance with you. And so she's like, well, that means we have to have a reception. And in trying to find a little hall, she'd left a message at the Grand Hotel. She didn't remember her phone number, and so she apologized and said, I've got chemo brain. You know, she got this phone call. She's, oh, it's the Grand Hotel, and she starts talking, and she starts crying. And I'm like...
sobbing.
I'm
really.
like, great, how bad could the hotel be? And Amber works there, so the message that we got back wasn't, oh, the room's available. It was, I have the power to make your dreams come true. And so when she got off the phone, it was like, wow.
I was just speechless, because Amber had said, we hope you haven't bought one thing for your wedding, because we would like to give you your complete dream wedding. And when I got off the phone, when I told him, he cried. And then when we called my best friend, she cried. He just can't believe it. Every single person that has been involved with Wish Upon a Wedding has been so profoundly generous and kind. Really, I just... don't have any words for it. And it's just, I never knew that there were so many people that loved and supported people going through something so challenging. And it's just such an incredible blessing. It'll be a blessing for the rest of my life. I really can't thank all these people with words. I don't know how I'll thank them. It may be in my heart, but I just have never experienced anything like that. It hasn't once been, well, how about this or that? It's really, what do you want? When you're a mom and you're helping everyone else out, sometimes you forget that there's a time when it becomes your dream. And they've made that happen. With $100,000 in medical bills plus, it keeps me supported and feeling so amazingly loved that it makes the cancer so much easier to deal with. Just because you know you have people that are just kind, wonderful people that are so generous.
Now that you're here, I'm breathing again, I'm breathing again, I'm breathing again now. Breathing again, I'm breathing again, you're the light in the lighthouse.
I'm just really looking forward to just every single moment. It's one of the things about cancer is it's right in your face, and you realize that you take for granted so much about what the gift of life is right here, right now. And I want to experience that right here, right now with him every day for the rest of my life.
I want to bring her joy, like she brings joy to other people. And it's kind of setting the bar pretty high on my part, but...
I think you do a good job.
yeah, well, I'm trying.
So what about the kissing part?
Well, that's pretty good too.
Okay. How about you?
It looks like